Hey guys, Malika here from the Site Blogger, and today I'm kicking off a new series, maybe a mini series. I don't know how long I'm going to do it, but this is a series where I will kind of review a business slash newsletter that I personally look up to and learn a lot from. So I am kicking it off with Josh Spector's newsletter because even though I have only recently found him, I have become a huge fan. I love how simple his things are and yet how packed, like jam packed with value, everything he says, everything he sends is. So let's look at his business. I don't have any info on the back end, like what he actually, how much he makes, or how his business does. I don't really know all of those details. What I do know is what I see from the outside, and I will just share my thoughts on all of that. So this is Josh Spector's website, and right away I love it because it's so simple. My own website, so if you know, it's kind of on the fancy end, and I love it. It's pretty and everything, but there are days when I wish I had something simpler like what Josh has. Now, I have read on his Twitter, I think, where Josh Spector shared that he is working on his website and it's going to look different soon. And I have no idea how it's going to look. I am looking forward to it, but I can tell you that what he has now, the simple, black and white text-based website is, I absolutely am fascinated by the simplicity of it and how effective it is, even though it's so simple. Now, maybe he's changing the website because he thinks he can do better. Um, and like I said, I have no idea what the new website is going to look like, but um, I know that I will miss this. If he goes from simplicity to a little more complicated, then I know for sure that I will miss the simplicity of his current website. But this is Josh, and he talks about content marketing. So we have similar niche. So I look up to him, but I also think of it as a competitor, which is crazy because I have like 10K subscribers. He has 35K, as you can see here. So he's way ahead of me. But at the same time, I aspire to be someone like him eventually. And so, because I look up to him so much, I think you guys should give him a follow. And yes, I know we do very similar things, and I am recommending my competitor here, but that's how much I look up to his content. Now, a couple of things I want to share with you is that Josh Spector's customer base actually comes from, I think, social media. I would say Twitter and LinkedIn probably because let's see. I want to see how much because I looked it up earlier today and he actually doesn't have as much organic traffic, to be honest. So if you look at his organic traffic, it's like 500 keywords, but let's go to overview. And the tool I'm using here is called SpyFu, by the way. I love it. It's very affordable and awesome. And you can use it to look up not just your own website data, but other website data as well. So as you can see, his organic traffic hovers around um, like 1,000 or so these days, whereas my website traffic is a lot more, but I also don't use social media as much. I only recently started using social media, but until about a month ago, I was not on any social media, and so I kind of depend on organic traffic. And I always say that you should tap into your strengths when it comes to where you get your traffic from and all of that stuff. And my strength definitely lies on SEO and Pinterest. So I have used those two methods to kind of tap into an ideal audience, like organic traffic from Google and Pinterest. So my traffic is a lot higher because those are my primary method of getting traffic. So as you can see, over 20,000, 2,200 organic keywords. And as far as traffic goes, it's well over 10K organic. But also, I get more from other sources as well, like Pinterest. But anyway, so That's one of the reason why I'm like, okay, so that's one aspect where I do better than Josh. But again, we have very different methods, so comparison is kind of doesn't work here because his traffic is from social and my traffic is from Google. So there's that. But other than that, let's see. Um, his blog is also because he doesn't focus on SEO, you won't find the traditional optimized content that I personally like and the way I write. Like if you go to Josh's blog post, like this is a blog post, and as you can see, it's really short, just a few lines, and that's it. That's his blog post. And I have a similar blog post where I talk about consistent writing, and let's see if I can find that blog post. And it is a long, way longer blog post than what Josh has, and definitely not a bullet point, which is what Josh is doing here. If you look at his blog post, it kind of looks like a bullet point without the actual bullet points. Whereas um, consistent writing. I can just search here. I don't know why I'm looking at um, consistent writing. Um, how to blog consistently. So I have a couple of different blog posts on that topic. So this is one, how to blog consistently, 15 tips to stay at the top of your blogging game. And this one is a 10-minute read. So this is long and this has like a bunch of different, like every bullet point has extensive explanation underneath it. And that works for me because, I tend to write long form content and I also tend to write for search engines. So there's that. So, depending on what you're doing, like I said, Josh's business is bigger than my own business, and yet his blog is so simple. So, it definitely depends on what where your strength is. So, basically, what I'm trying to say is that there's no one way to go from point A to point B, Josh is good at social media and LinkedIn and using those to get customers and clients, whereas I depend on Pinterest and organic traffic to get newsletter subscribers, and then from there I get my customers and clients. So we have a huge difference in the way we do business here, even though we have similar niche. And I also want to look at some of his newsletters. So he has like two different format. I wouldn't say two different. It's a single format, but his Sunday newsletters tend to be slightly longer, whereas his weekly newsletter, for example, this is one of his um, traditional weekly newsletter, and it has like that's it. That's his newsletter, guys. Like it's so simple, and he sends a newsletter every single day except for Saturdays. So all he does is shares three different things. The first thing is a link to something, a content related or a sales related. And then the second link is basically an advertised link. And as you know, I also run advertisements in my newsletter. And I'll show you what it looks like in a second. Um, and then the third link is this one, another resource or something like that that has to do with content marketing or selling or something like that. Now, I want to show you what my newsletter looks like. I actually just trashed it, but this is my latest newsletter. And my newsletters are also not super long, but definitely longer than Josh's emails. And I send it 3 times a week. But look at it, like I kind of have a similar thing going, but I sometimes tend to talk about some personal stuff as well, which Josh doesn't do, and that's totally cool. We all have different way of doing things, and our audience expects different things from us based on how we have always done things. Not to say that you cannot change things up, you can and you should experiment with things, but this is my business and I like sharing personal tidbits occasionally, and so that's how I do it. And but yeah, I have like one resource at the top and then a newsletter ad and then, another resource after the ads, and that's pretty much it. So we do have similar things going on, to be honest. and somehow it's not working, but never mind. So this is Josh's Sunday newsletters. So today's a Sunday when I'm recording this video. It's kind of late at night. Sunday's almost over, but here's what a Sunday newsletter, Josh's Sunday newsletters look like. So starts with a resource, and then he shares 5 more resources, and then he shares more ads. His Sunday ads are actually long. He shares like five of them because the way he does things is he runs one ad from Monday through Friday, and then on Sunday he kind of shares all of those 5 ads from the previous week. I actually do something similar. I only run newsletters on 3 days: Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. So I run a new ad on Tuesday, another on Friday, and then on Sunday I share both of them. Every now and then, one business will buy both Tuesday and Friday. In that case, I'll have the same ad on all 3 days. But other than that, yeah. Anyway, you get the picture. So that's what his Sunday newsletters look like. And even though I don't know what Josh's revenue is, but I can tell you from the fact that Josh sells his newsletter ads. So this is his newsletter. It's called For the Interested. And I look at the advertisements, and for some reason I feel like my okay, never mind. It felt like my internet was lagging, but it looks like it's fine. Anyway, so if I go to reserve ad, I can see that his ads are $350 each. So if he sells $350 worth of ads to, say, 5 businesses, because like I said, from Monday through Friday, he sells unique ads. So 5 times 350, that's 1,750 per week, just from newsletter ads. And then if I multiply that with 4, which is, the average number of weeks on a month, so that comes down to $7,000. So if he roughly makes $7,000 every single month just from running ads, guys, newsletters can be so profitable. Like I'm telling you, build a newsletter and you will have so many different ways to monetize them eventually. So in my case, I just started running newsletter ads, so I don't charge as much. I also don't have as many subscribers as Josh does. So I have like a little over 9,000, almost 10,000 now subscribers. So I sell my newsletter. Well, the suggested price is 127, but because I'm so new and I'm still collecting data, I have a special offer that says pay what you want. So the minimum price is $45, and then people can pay me more if they want. Usually people end up spending somewhere between 50 and 75. So I'm grateful for that. People who actually pay more than 45 for an ad. But yeah, so there's that. But yeah, like I learned so much from Josh. I actually started running ads on my newsletter after I started seeing Josh's newsletter, and I realized that I was missing out on such huge opportunity to make money from my newsletter. Um, and because we are so similar in the way that we do things, like our business, I get a lot of ideas from him. Um, so this is the first video in the review, like business newsletter review series in this YouTube channel. So I thought, I would start up with Josh's newsletter because I've learned so much from him. And if you do content marketing, you should definitely sign up for Josh's newsletter. I will link to his newsletter in the description below, but just so you know. Anyway, so that's his newsletter. His income, like I said, I don't know for sure how much he makes, like um, from everything that he does, but just from newsletter sales, I can tell that he makes at least $7,000. And then he has this membership thing, skill sessions, and his memberships are, I am not a paid member, but maybe one day I will be. but this is his membership landing page, and like I said, it's so simple. I love it. I love it. Anyway, but his core memberships and other he has like tiered memberships, and the cheapest one is 599 per year. And as you know, I also have a membership. So, like I said, when I found him like a couple of months ago, I was like, oh, we are so similar. But obviously, he does things. There are certain things that he does very differently. Like we have the same niche, similar products, but he does things very differently. He's very social media centric, whereas I am very SEO and Pinterest centric. So when you look at our content, they look different because of me optimizing content for search engines, whereas Josh optimizing content for speed and just just giving the core message in as with brevity, basically. And I love it. I love it. But I am not a huge fan of social media personally, so I will continue to do the way I do things because it works for me. And before I go, just one last thing. This is today's newsletter that Josh sent out, and I was so surprised to see that he actually linked to one of my content. Like, it's so freaking amazing because I have been talking about Josh for the past, however many weeks. And to see him linking to one of my blog posts was like, oh my God. Like, when someone you look up to actually gives you a shout out. So, like, he linked to a blog post where I talked about how to make money with sponsored content. And he linked to this blog post, and I'm like, yeah. Anyway, I'm like super pumped today, and I'm super excited. So when I decided to do this series, I thought, okay, um, I'm going to do Josh's newsletter because I love it so much, and because he supports me, and so I will support him, even though my audience is such how should I put it? It's I have a smaller audience basically, but yeah. So if you guys are watching this, I don't know how many people watch my videos. I don't look at YouTube analytics um, because YouTube is something that I use mostly to just share tutorials and whatnot. Um, but in the meantime, I have grown it to almost 1,000 followers now on YouTube. So I'm pretty sure some of you will watch this video. And if you do, please go to Josh's website and give him a follow or subscribe to his newsletter. And yeah, that's it. If you have any question about anything, um, comment me, email me, or, better yet, subscribe to my newsletter as well, which I will link to in the description. And I will see you again pretty soon with a different video. Bye.